of the World Gymnastics Championships presented by State Farm. Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
You're taking a look backwards from Parker Johnstone's onboard camera. That's Al Unser Jr. chasing him. Nothing's changed at the front. It's DeFerrin still in the lead. But we've got a couple cars with some interesting problems. We'll start with Jack Arute.
And let's start with Scott Pruitt, who was running in the top 5. They reported a header problem. It seems the header is broken on the Ford Cosworth engine. Now they'll try to make some hasty repairs. They've lifted the bonnet, but this will definitely take Scott Pruitt out of contention. And they're going to make the changes now on the electronics portion of it. And they're going to try and restart the motor. Paul?
Well, so some hard work, some very dangerous work because of the header temperature. Those gloves help, but not all that much. And of course, he was up in the top 5. And so what that means now is DeFerrin is still the leader, followed by Vassar. But Tracy is 3rd, Parker Johnstone is 4th, and Al Unser Jr. is 5th. So King of the Beach is whittling his way up there.
Working his way back up. And let's look at one other thing. Oh, there's Robbie Gordon. He looks like he's locked him up and going straight. He's having a wild day, isn't he?
I'll tell you what, he's been everywhere. Of course, it's a desperate drive when you go 2 laps down.
That's right. He's trying to make something from nothing. He's trying to get him to push him back. The car doesn't look bad. The nose still seems to be intact, but he's trying to get him to push him back.
All right, let's get an update on Scott Pruitt, Jack.
Well, Paul, you can hear Scott Pruitt in the background. He tried to put the car in gear, and he stalled it. But they are going to restart it and send Scott Pruitt back out.
There goes the auxiliary, the electrical starter. The only way you can start these engines, you don't want to push it real hard for about a quarter of a mile and tire your team out. Rules don't allow it anyway.
You can't go very far like that, but if he does have a broken header, it looks like we're going to get a full course yellow, and obviously because Robbie Gordon is in a dangerous spot, so we're probably going to get some pit stops here.
All right, so with Robbie Gordon in a precarious position down at the first turn, full course yellow, 3rd one of the day. Scott Pruitt makes it back into the fight. The leader at halfway has gone on to win in 10 out of 12 races at Long Beach, and of course that was Gilles DeFerrin, who now heads on down into the pits for his pit stop. Here's Gary.
Well, the first stop was executed in 14 seconds, and there was drama that forced us to leave that stop. Everything looks great for Jim Hall's team. We watch and we listen. They made a wing change on the first stop. Nothing this time. They got him rolling under 13 seconds.
Boy, great job by that team, and they know it, too.
And, of course, you see that red car that's coming down the pit lane behind them, of course, is Jimmy Vassar. Jack?
Yeah, Danny, Jimmy Vassar had a very uneventful pit stop, but while all that was going on, the same could not be said for Team Penske. Paul Tracy came in, stalled the car, refired it, split the tires up, and actually hit a tire that hit Richard Buck's crewman on Al Unser Jr.'s car.
So under the full course yellow, Gilles DeFerrin is the leader. Still some debris to clean up in 1. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Versatile, roomy new RAV4 from Toyota. It's out there.
There's a fine line of motor oil separating your car's engine parts that's as little as 1/1000th of an inch. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect expensive parts. Texaco Havoline Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
You just heard some wild talk. Now you want to go fight.
If I don't see you before we leave, goodbye, Maggie.
The first chapter in the Lonesome Dove epic is coming to television. Edward James Olmos, Brian Dennehy, Keith Carradine, F. Murray Abraham, Harry Dean Stanton, Patricia Childress, David Arquette, Jennifer Garner, Johnny Lee Miller. The event of May.
You want to be free. Kill me.
Larry McMurtry's Dead Man's Walk, coming May 12th to ABC.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
In this business, we have sales every day.
Main sales.
Head sales.
Genoas.
Spankers.
We make them all.
We've been growing pretty fast.
Sales are up.
Oh, he didn't say that.
Along the way, we maxed out our phone system.
We ran out of lines.
Ran out of features.
Ran out of patience.
Our 9X guys set us up with a system we don't own.
It's called Centrex.
9X owns it.
They run it, maintain it.
We just use it.
9X keeps us on course.
Keeps us from running aground.
Hey, no 9X.
No sale.
Channel 7 Eyewitness News, where the news comes first.
Well, Robbie Gordon has made it back into the pits after he had a situation that brought out a full course yellow, and here it is, Danny.
You're going to see him coming down into turn 6, critical braking area, in there deep. Whoa, he's locked him up. He couldn't make it around. Boom, but as we saw him in the pits, he didn't damage the nose. Look, he's going back out. He lost probably another lap.
And the good news of those tire barriers. This weekend was the 20th anniversary of the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race along the streets of Long Beach.
It is tough out there.
The Pro Celebrity is one of the favorite events of the weekend. Movie and TV stars will come out to race against one another, and all of it goes for charity.
I've seen Alfonso backwards on the racetrack and still not hit the wall.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I got big car problems.
This weekend, the celebrities donated $50,000 to Southern California Racing for Kids charity. And of course, the stars were everywhere. The start of the 20th anniversary race had Grant Show and Wayne Rainey leading them down the track. Early on, Leslie Goodell in car 11 went sideways, while Matt Tajan, who paid $33,000 at an auction to race, went nose first into the wall. An expensive weekend. The actor Robert Hayes and former Olympian Bruce Jenner, both ex-champions of this celebrity race, mixed it up a bit as they went on into the wall. Finally, Grant Show from the series Melrose Place brought in his car number 16 to the finish line as all but 3 cars finished on the lead lap. The top 3 finishers, Show, Jason Bateman, and Alfonso Ribeiro, celebrated on the podium with a traditional champagne spray. And he loves it. A record-breaking weekend here as we look down and we go back to green flag racing. Gil de Ferran leads it. Paul Tracy has managed to move up into 2nd place. Vassar 3rd, John Stone 4th, Al Unser Jr. 5th. And a very typical race here. So much happening, much of it all at the same time. Robbie Gordon brings out the full course yellow, backs out of the tire barriers and gets it back going. On board 3rd place, Jimmy Vassar. Jack?
Well, Paul, Chip Ganassi is actually lobbying with Billy Camphausen down here with the CART officials about that pass. Let's see, you're saying the pass was under the yellow.
Well, Jack, we saw it on television. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, that's it, guys. They're watching TV here now to decide what they should do.
Well, so conversations go on between car owner Chip Ganassi, and there's one of the IndyCar safety vehicles out on the circuit, so yellow in this area as Jimmy Vassar stays in pursuit. I'm not sure what they were out after.
And I didn't see the yellow flag, and then I saw that car on Jimmy's M car slow, and he went ahead and passed it, so I don't believe there was a yellow in that corner. Can't really tell you from this angle what's going on.
And once again, in a very short interval, de Ferran is able to pull 4 seconds ahead of Paul Tracy. But Paul Tracy, there he is, has got a real serious problem. The argument apparently was because they're going to bring Tracy in under the black flag for passing Jimmy Vassar under the yellow. Whoa.
Boy, it must have been in a critical position there. And obviously very clear, because they don't make that call lightly.
So Paul Tracy should see the black flag as he comes down this time. And then he'll have 3 laps under the rules to answer that flag.
Well, I tell you, as a race car driver, and I've been shown that black flag on occasion, especially when you fought your way back up to second spot, having spun the car, that's the last thing you want to see. It's the most frustrating thing. And you're normally in a car going, I'm not going to stop, I'm not going to stop. Unfortunately, you have to, or they stop scoring you if you don't pull in within 3 laps.
What do you figure the conversation is on the two-way radio right now between this car and the pits?
Well, if Chip Ganassi was having that conversation with Billy Campbell, I'd imagine Roger Penske or Chuck Sprague's having one.
Let's go to Jack Arute.
Well, you want to know what the composure is of Paul Tracy right now as he comes to the stop and go? On the radio, they kept saying, don't worry about it. Be cool. The stop is completed. I don't know how cool he is because he's right back on the throttle and back out.
Watch your speed. 60 mile an hour, the speed limit in these pits.
But don't forget, I heard him on the button as he went down the pits, but you can tell he wasn't that cool with that burnout he did right there in the pits.
So Paul Tracy back into the fight, but it's hurt him badly. He's fallen back several positions, maybe as deep as the 6 as he comes back into the order, just ahead of Eddie Lawson and right behind Michael Andretti.
Well, these guys, this is probably a position for Michael, and I would imagine after what went on in the last race, these guys might not, this might not be the friendliest pass that you've ever seen.
Yeah, now Michael occupies 6 as Tracy tries to move around. There's that tight area going into
that
turn
was close.
6.
They were pretty close there. Of course, that's a tight area, but a very clean pass.
7 cars on the lead lap. Hondas run 1, 2, and 3.
Hall up very high coming off that corner.
Well, I can't, you know, when you look at the numbers come up on the EDS computer, DeFerrin 7 seconds now ahead of second place Jimmy Vasser. Every time he just motors away.
Well, I think what happened a little bit there, too, is he only had to get by Brian Herta at the restart. He had 1 car to pass, and then he had a clean track in front of him. Of course, Jimmy's back there. He's got to get by a couple people. Paul Tracy passed him. He's in traffic. That sure helps Gil DeFerrin.
Average speed of the race right now at 93.9 miles an hour. The race record 99 miles an hour set by Al Unser Jr. in 94. Look at the interval there, 14 laps for Vassell behind. Let's go back to 3rd place, Parker Johnstone, as he battles with Al Unser Jr., who's coming down on top of him. Still not in a position to actually move on the pass. Maybe by the time they get around the backside of the course, he will be.
I think just to explain to the folks at home, that -4, -5 we're seeing on the screen, those are laps that they're behind.
Tracking away back behind this, Richie Hearn, who started 22nd in his first race with these guys, has moved up into 10th place. And there is Adrian Fernandez.
In that green and red and white car right there.
Fernandez is in 5th right now, having a good day too. The lone car representing Tasman now, with Ribeiro out so very early on. Pruitt just in front of him.
Of course, Scott's way down after those that pit stop, so I don't think he's going to give much opposition there to Adrian.
And think of what that's going to do to the point standings. Pruitt's dropped down to 11th place, a lap behind the leader. 2 laps behind the leaders. And so that's going to take him away from the top of the points fight. On a weekend that I think they felt pretty good about how they were running.
Well, I think they felt very good, but of course, if you have a mechanical like a broken header or something electrical, you can hope for the best, but that's not going to happen. And of course, if you know, this points battle keeps going like this, it's going to shuffle around quite a bit right now.
Gil DeFerrin, of course, Goodyear tires there in this ongoing tire war, Goodyear and Firestone. And Goodyear made a big change in tires. Looks like it's paying off.
That's right. I talked to the guys at Goodyear, and they said not only did they change just the compound, they also changed the construction. It's been something they worked on. They didn't want to bring it out, as we said earlier, this soon, but they needed to because the Firestone was clearly a favorite.
So Jimmy Vasser, the points leader, in a catch-up mode on DeFerrin now, as he is just